Welcome and good afternoon. Today is today is Wednesday, January the 12th. I hereby call the Public Service Subcommittee to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Representatives Alexander, Jernigan, Johnson, Kiesling, Marsh, Wendell. Madam Chairlady, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we get started, are there any personal orders? Seeing none, we will have 8 bills on the calendar today. The first item, number 1, is House Bill 1035 by Speaker Marsh. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
We have a proper motion and second. Chairman, you're recognized on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. HB 1035 is a State House of Representatives redistricting bill. The House redistricting plan I present today is the product of the Select Committee on Redistricting, made up of 16 bipartisan members, 12 Republicans and 4 Democrats. The plan complies with all state and federal constitutional and statutory requirements and the House redistricting guidelines. The plan is composed of single-member districts. Each district is contiguous. Each district is constituted using 2020 census data and geography. The plan complies with Voting Rights Act. The plan complies with judiciary interpreted state constitutional requirements concerning county splitting. The plan protects the sanctity of counties by creating whole districts in each county with a population sufficient to support a whole district, and preserving single county districts and multi-district counties in those counties which constitute a single district or divide evenly into multiple districts within judicially recognized deviation limitations. This plan complies with federal constitutional requirements for one person, one vote, as applied to state legislative districts. Specifically, this plan has an overall population range of 9.9%. It splits 30 counties. It includes 7 districts with paired incumbents. It includes 8 districts without incumbents. It maintains the current number of majority-minority districts at 13, and it creates 2 coalition districts. Finally, at my direction, this plan was reviewed by the Attorney General's office, and at this time, with your permission, Madam Chairman, I would like to ask the Select Committee's attorney, Doug Himes, to go over the concept generally and district by district.
We are now out of session. Mr. Himes, would you please give your name and your title for the record?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm Doug Himes. I am your House Ethics Counsel and also the counsel for the Select Committee on Redistricting. And on the video board is the plan that the Select Committee adopted that Speaker Marsh has described. I just start off with similar comments that I made to the Select Committee. The 2020 census provide a dynamic framework for redistricting the Tennessee House of Representatives. Tennessee's population grew by 8.9% from 6,346,105 to 6,910,840, which in comparison to the United States grew about 7.4%. So we're a little bit ahead of where the country grew. Your ideal district size increased from 64,102 to 69,806. And that growth, of course, was vastly uneven across the state. There were 17 counties that grew by more than 10%. And most of these counties were concentrated in Middle Tennessee. Conversely, there were 30 counties that actually experienced negative growth. In comparison, the last census, only 8 counties in the previous decade experienced negative growth. This time we had 30. Most of those counties were located in rural West Tennessee, the Upper Cumberland region, and in Northeast Tennessee. As a result of these demographic changes, there was essentially a 3-seat shift in representation in the House that moved towards Middle Tennessee, and that's reflected in this plan. As Speaker Marsh said, this plan has an overall population range of 9.9%. The highest districts are 5.09% in deviation. Those are in Montgomery County. The low is a negative 4.81%. That district is part of Dixon and Cheatham County. There are 30 county splits in this plan. There's 9 in west, 9 in middle, and 12 in east. There are 7 districts that have period incumbents, 1 in rural northeast, 1 in Knox, 2 in Davidson, 1 in Williamson, 1 in rural middle west Tennessee, and 1 in Shelby County. Conversely, there are 8 districts without incumbents, 1 in Knox, 1 in Trousdale and Sumner, 1 in Rutherford, 1 in Williamson, 3 in Davidson, and 1 in Montgomery. This concept maintains the current number of majority-minority districts. That's 13. 1 in Hamilton County, 2 in Davidson, 1 in rural West Tennessee, and 9 in Shelby County. And in addition, this plan creates 2 coalition districts in Davidson County. Those are districts that have a combined voting age population of minority residents over 50%. In one of those districts, District 55, is nearly 60% combined voting age African American and Hispanic residents. And what came a bit of a surprise to me, there were 6 districts that actually stayed exactly the same. And those districts are 19, 22, 24, 38, 66, and 94. And if you, I will go over this district by district if you would like me to. It's up to you, Madam Chair, or I can stop there.
Members? Does anybody want to know those districts? Okay. No, thank you. Any questions from members? No. Seeing none, we're back in session. Do we have any further discussion on the bill?
Madam Chair, I would like to renew the motion to move HB 1035 to full committee where the redistricting plan presented to you today will be offered as an amendment.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of sending House Bill 1035 to state full signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? No. Ayes have it. Bill goes to state full. The next item, number 2, is House Bill 1037 by Chairman Johnson. Do I have a motion and a second?
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1037 is the Senate redistricting bill. This plan is the work product of the Senate Redistricting Committee. Minor modifications are being finalized in the Senate, and I anticipate that the Senate redistricting plan will be available shortly. At this time, I would like to make a motion to move this to the full House Bill 1037 to the full committee.
We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the bill? Seeing none, all those in favor of sending House Bill 1037 to state full signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Bill goes to state full. Item number 3, House Bill 1034 by Chairman Marsh. Do I have a motion and a second? Second. Chairman, you're recognized on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. For purposes of discussion, I would ask for a motion on this bill, which we've just received. HB 1034 is the congressional redistricting bill. The congressional redistricting plan I present today is the product of the Select Committee on Redistricting. As I said earlier, is made up of 16 House members. This plan complies with all state and federal constitutional and statutory requirements. This plan creates 9 districts, including 1 majority-minority district. Each district is equal in population at 767,871 people with the exception of the 6th district, which has one more person in its population. 9 counties are split: Shelby, Benton, Davidson, Williamson, Wilson, Ray, Scott, Campbell, and Hancock. No incumbents are paired. And finally, each district is contiguous. At this time, I would like to ask our committee attorney, Doug Himes, to go over the concept generally and district by district if necessary.
We are now out of session.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members. Doug Himes again. On the video screen over my right shoulder is the congressional plan that was adopted by the Select Committee. I would say on this plan that the same factors that I described about the vast uneven growth were at play in this as well. The West Tennessee districts were underpopulated by about 128,000. The Eastern Tennessee districts were underpopulated by, and I was looking for my little sheet, I think it was 64 in combination of 1, 2, and 3, or around that number. And once those districts were fully formed, where the balancing of the population occurred was in the 4 Middle Tennessee districts. The plans in front of you, Speaker Marsh described the 9 county splits, and I can go over it again district by district if you'd like me to. That's up to y'all.
Members? No, thank you. Do we have any further discussion? We're back into session. Is there any further discussion on the bill?
Madam
motion
Chairman,
and
I would like to renew the motion to move HB 1034 to the full committee, where the redistricting plan I presented to you today will be offered as an amendment.
Do we have a motion and a second? All those in favor of sending House Bill 1034 to state full signify by saying aye. Opposed? No. Ayes have it. Bill goes to state full. Item number 4 is House Bill 1036 by Chairman Johnson. Do I have a motion and a second? Chairman, you're recognized on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1036 is a caption bill. I anticipate that this will be taken off notice in full committee, but I would make a motion to move it to the full committee.
We have a motion. Okay. Any questions from the members? Seeing none, we're voting on House Bill 1036 going to state. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Bill goes to state full. Item number 5 is House Bill 1583 by Leader Camper. Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman, Committee. House Bill 1583 is a Democratic House plan that I believe to be a strong and fair map that keeps more communities together. Mr. Himes, are you pulling the map up? Okay. It honors the federal and state constitutions and respects the will of the voters. First and foremost, this map adheres to the federal and state...
Do we have a second?
Sorry, did I jump the gun?
You're recognized.
I'm sorry. First and foremost, the map adheres to the federal and state constitutional requirements of one person, one vote, or substantially equal district populations. Under this map, the average House district is within 2% of the target population. The largest deviation under the target population is 3,311. That was in Washington County, a county that was kept whole. The largest deviation of the target population, another one is 3,473, which is Hamilton County. The 9.72% population deviation is within the window of what courts have deemed permissible in the interest of reducing splits. As you know, the Tennessee Constitution prefers keeping counties whole. Article 2, Section 5 reads, in a district composed of 2 or more counties, each county shall adjoin at least one other county of such district, and no counties shall be divided in forming such a district. The U.S. Supreme Court's 1962 Baker v. Carr decision, which provides the one-person, one-vote standard, forced Tennessee to split counties to equalize district populations. Still, this map takes great care to reduce county splits in the overall plan. In this proposal, 72 counties are kept whole, with only 23 county splits. Compare that to the current map, which keeps 67 counties whole and 28 county splits. This map actually unsplits 10 counties from the current map, and the 23 county splits in this map, 18 splits are carried over from the existing map. This map makes the fewest county splits since the Baker v. Carr ruling. This plan attempts to ensure Tennessee's minority groups have equal access to shared political process. There are 22 districts included in this proposal where voters who belong to minority groups could influence the outcome of an election. 13 of which are majority-minority districts, 9 of which are minority opportunity districts or influence districts. Of these 22, 13 are effective majority-minority districts where a group of minority voters represents more than 50% of the voters in the district. There is 1 in Hamilton, 2 in Davidson, 1 in Rural West, and 9 in Shelby. Some similar version of these 13 minority districts also exist in the current map. Additionally, there are 9 minority opportunity districts. These are sometimes referred to as crossover districts or influence districts. These are districts where non-white voters account for more than 35% of the voting age population, but less than 50%. The rationale is that there even a significant voting block of minority voters could influence an election. These minority opportunity districts are located across the state. 1 opportunity district is in Shelby County, 2 in Davidson, 6 additional opportunity districts or coalition districts are in 2 in Rutherford, 2 in Montgomery, 1 in Davidson, and 1 in Shelby. And I'd like to note that while the Voting Rights Act does not require a state to create new coalition or influence districts, the United States Supreme Court continues to recognize that creating and maintaining such districts is part of how states like Tennessee can comply with the Voting Rights Act. A couple other factors that we took into account making these maps. We tried to keep communities and cities whole. We had numerous public feedback periods, heard from hundreds of voters within Tennessee, made sure that the districts were as compact as they could be. And we tried to respect the historical boundaries of Tennessee. So every 10 years, the Constitution requires us to put together a difficult puzzle the best we can. We believe we've put a fair map that keeps communities together and respects the will of the voters. And with that, I would like to ask for this to be passed on to full committee, where an amendment reflecting what I just described will be put on. And I really hope that everyone here can vote to pass this to the full committee, because this is an extremely important process that we're going through right now. The redistricting process, I think, should have as many eyes on it as possible. And my request would be for it to go to the full committee, and then let us have the 2 plans side by side for both the members of the full committee to look at, and the members of the community to have a chance to look at. And with that, I'll ask for your support. Thank you.
Do you have any questions from members? Seeing none. All those in favor of sending House Bill 1583 to state full signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it. Bill fails. Item number 6 is House Bill 970 by Representative Dixie. Item number 7 is House. Okay, we're going to roll 970 to the hill of the calendar. Item number 7 is House Bill 1584 by Leader Camper. Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Leader, Representative, you're recognized.
I'll take the promotion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Committee. House Bill 1584 is the proposal for the 9 congressional districts. And we're going to pull the map up. The proposal for the Tennessee 9 congressional districts reimagines our map to better represent each region of the state. The biggest changes is a new congressional district in Middle Tennessee's fast-growing suburban counties. This move reflects population trends and better aligns communities with shared interests like transportation, infrastructure, and affordable housing. Overall, these districts closely follow Tennessee's 3 grand divisions. There are 3 in East Tennessee, District 1, which groups together communities that have historically been referred to as Upper East. District 2, which includes Anderson, Oak Ridge, Sevier, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, the City of Maryville, Alcoa. District 3, which includes counties in the southeastern portion of the state. In Middle Tennessee, there are 4. District 4, which groups together large, fast-growing suburban communities. District 5, which consists of Nashville, Laverne, and parts of Smyrna. District 6, which includes many of the rural counties of the Cumberland Plateau. And District 7, which includes and groups together the rural communities east of the Tennessee River. In West Tennessee, there are 2 districts, District 8, which is basically every rural county in West Tennessee, along with parts of Shelby, and District 9, which groups together the cities of Memphis and Bartlett. First, this map meets the constitutional requirement of 1 person, 1 vote. Under this map, the average congressional district is within 0% of the target population, a deviation within 0% of the target population. And the maximum deviation on a per person level is 6 people on the low end and 7 people on the high end. This map also only splits 8 counties to make equal congressional districts, and no county is split more than once. The counties that are split are Bedford, Blount, Hardin, Murray, Roane, Rutherford, Sumner, Union, and Shelby, all of which were required to split because of their population growth. There is a majority-minority district. This is a district where a single minority group represents more than 50% of the voting population. The 9th Congressional District in Shelby County is a majority black district in the previous map and continues to do so under this new version. There's also an opportunity district, which can also be called an influence district, and that is one where non-white voters or a coalition of minority groups represent less than 50 voting age population, but more than 35. Under this map, minority groups represent 42% of the voting age population in the 5th Congressional District, which is based here in Davidson County in Northwest Rutherford. I would again note that while the Voting Rights Act does not require states to create new influence districts, the Supreme Court continues to recognize that creating and maintaining such districts is part of how states comply with the Voting Rights Act. In a state like ours, where minority groups represent 1 out of every 4 voters, the presence of an influence district is an accurate reflection of our state. We tried to keep communities whole. Again, held numerous public comment periods, heard from hundreds of voters across our state. And then on the compactness side of things, using REOC and the Polsby-Popper metrics to measure compactness, these districts are considerably more compact than the 2011 districts. The map scores 17% better on the REOC and 47% better on the Polsby-Popper. In summary, whether you live in a rural community, a suburb, or downtown, the proposals that I just presented represent an opportunity to better align communities across the state with neighbors who share many of the same policy concerns. And with that, I ask for your support to send this to full committee, where an amendment reflecting the plan I just presented to be put on. And again, would like to implore upon the committee that this is an extremely important process that I think we should have more time for the community to weigh in and view these 2 ideas And so if you would please consider sending this to the full committee, you'd be doing a great service to the state of Tennessee. Thank you.
Any questions from the members? Seeing none, we are voting on House Bill 1584. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it. Bill fails.
Madam Chairwoman,
Item number
Ma'am?
8. I'm sorry.
if I could, I know I'm out of order, but I have two constituents here, two high school students from Harpeth Hall, Olivia Shirley and Betsy Rogers. They came all the way to hear this process. I'd just like for us to recognize them today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being here. Item number 8 is House Bill 1087 by Representative Hakeem. Do I have a motion and a second? Motion. We have a proper motion and second.
Thank you.
Representative, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee. If it's appropriate, I'd like to take this off notice. We may bring it back at a later time. If it's appropriate, we'd like to do that.
Okay. The bill is taken off notice.
Thank you.
We are back to item number 6, House Bill 0970 by Representative Dixie. We'd like to roll this to the next calendar. That concludes our calendar for the day. Before we close, does anyone have any announcements? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? We're adjourned. Thank you.